love you for life, 'cause your love is how I live. What up, everybody? I'm Erica Campbell, and this is Rolling Out Star Studio.
Hello everyone, this is Chelsea Alexander with Rolling Out. Super excited. I have a very special guest joining us today on Star Studio. We have Miss Erica Campbell here.
Hello.
Yes, so how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited about this new album.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. I
Thank
have to
you.
say, like, literally from start to finish. So I guess let's start there, right? Tell
Yes.
us, how does it feel just to release your third studio album, I Love You?
It's a super amazing feeling to have gone through the process of making the record, creating the record, anticipating how people will respond to it, how they'll receive it. And the response has been really amazing, which is great because my intention literally comes from a place of, I love the love that the fans have supported and poured onto me, through the different iterations of myself, whether it is Mary or radio or, reality show or even watching me with my kids. All of that has really been amazing, but it's done a lot for me, built me up in ways that I didn't know I needed it. And it's just been an amazing journey. And I believe when you have learned so many things about yourself, you figure out ways to share it. And this album, this I Love You album, is my way to share that. It's vulnerable, it's honest, you can dance, you can cry, you can think, and you can absolutely grow, and understand love in a more fulfilling way that's not just defined by a bad breakup or heartbreak. Love is something bigger, it's something more than just that. So it's all in this album. It's all me, all in this album.
Absolutely, and I love that you touched on that because you said it's like vulnerable and you're kind of like saying thank you, and you have your family on there.
I do,
as well as we'll talk about PJ Morgan and Stevie Wonder, but your family. How important was it for you to share that moment with your family?
This record, came to life starting in 2019, so top of pandemic, all through the pandemic. So we're in the house, nieces and nephews and stuff coming over, and I'm like, I need you guys to sing on this song, and Tina and different ones, and it's like, hey, I need all my sisters on this song. So if you see AMS, that's what it stands for, all my sisters. It was just a very loving environment, where they were excited about what I was doing. I didn't have label pressure or you better be better than this one. I didn't have any of that. So none of that is really included in my verbiage and my writing or even how I felt. I feel like you really get a chance to feel me in a different way on this record. And so that happens when you're with family, from my husband pushing me in ways that he hadn't before, which was great, allowing me to rise in different areas, from a writing standpoint, and even as a singer. It's just been so amazing, the whole thing. I'm excited about all of it and sharing it with as many people as I possibly can.
I love that. Well, you also have PJ Morgan, Stevie
Yes.
Wonder on the album, of course, many others. But tell us, I guess, how does it feel to work with them, especially Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
He's like super legendary.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
have you worked with him before, or is this the first thing?
I've known him for quite some time. He's really good friends with my husband. So just, to be able to say, hey, do you want to be on the record? He was really busy. It almost didn't happen. We had gotten down to the wire, and I was like, babe, call him and see. He was like, okay, he's in this country, he's in that country, he's doing this and doing that. But the last minute, we were able to make it happen. So I was really happy to have him a part of the record. Been friends with PJ for a lot of years, and I had done something with him live on his last project that was amazing. D Smoke, we're both from Inglewood, and of course my family is.
That was so cool.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
No, there's so much gratefulness. There's so much honesty and gratefulness that it's not always going to be right, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That you won't always have an answer. That don't mean stop. It means keep going. You know what I'm saying? Just because that didn't go right, it doesn't mean love is wrong. That just didn't work. And so you hold on to hope. You hold on to God. You hold on to his promise and what he said, and that requires listening. It requires quiet. It requires trusting him. And so everybody that I had on the record, they feel me and they felt where I was coming from. So every feature was blessed. I believe the album is blessed, and I really I know, not I think, I know it's going to bless people. I really do.
I love that. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I gotta know, what's your favorite song on the project, and what do you want fans? What message do you want fans to receive from that song?
Well, let's start with the message.
Okay.
This record is my I love you. It is my thank you.
Okay.
It is my appreciation. That's what I love about doing these live events, these concerts and conversations where I'm going around and I'm singing the music, but I'm also talking to the people. Like they've been rocking with me, like I said, through all my phases and stages. So this record is my thank you. So it's whether it could be, my favorite song could be I Love the Lord.
Oh, look here.
It could be Do You Believe in Love? You know, it could be Feel Alright. You know, I'm just in a really, really healthy place, which means, and I say healthy on purpose because sometimes everything isn't always good, but I'm good. You know what I mean? And if I'm good, even in the craziest of situations, I'm going to make it through. So God's going to give me the victory. He's going to give me what to say. You know, what I can't say, he will say. He will open doors and he will do things that I can't do because I'm surrendered. You've got to surrender. And a lot of people are afraid to surrender. We got mad control issues. We want to control life, love, people, and you can't. You have to release and be free. And this record is my release. So every song is special.
I love that so much. Well, we have to talk about Positive. It was never nominated, and then also it won a NAACP award. So how does it feel just to have those accomplishments associated with the album already?
Amazing. So that song went #1, and it was actually my first #1. A lot of people were really surprised because it had some, you know, music that really made impact, which is fine. I was excited about it and thrilled and overwhelmed. I definitely wasn't like, about time, you know. I was like, okay, it's here now. Right. And then Feel Alright came out, and that was #1 as well. So I was like, all right, Lord, I see what you're doing. Okay. If we're just patient, it comes when it's supposed to come. But both of those messages were very intentional because so many people battle in that area of being positive, of just feeling all right, mental health, and so many other things. And I believe what you declare over your life, what you speak, what I tell my kids, what are you saying to yourself about yourself? I ask all my children that, okay, what's your self-talk? What are you saying to yourself about yourself? Are you speaking life? You know, are you being optimistic? Are you being honest but hope-filled? You have to. And so both of these songs are filled with that, all of that, you know, that just kind of puts you in the right direction. But good way to start your day. Both of those songs are great ways to start your day.
Absolutely. Well, when it comes to your tour that's coming up,
right?
Tell us how are you gearing up from that, and what can we expect to see? When is it happening? Tell us everything.
Tonight, I'm in Atlanta at New Birth in Lithonia at 7:30. I've done New York, which was amazing. DC was phenomenal. Chicago's up next. And then there's Indianapolis and Detroit and Nashville and all these other cities that I'm super excited about. And it's literally the record coming alive. So I have to really saturate myself with the lyrics and the feeling and what I want to give them. Of course, how you look is important too. So we're making sure those things are in line. And I've felt good about my little denim vibe that I've been going with. Thank you, Sasha. I actually literally went to the vault here in Atlanta yesterday. She blessed me with some things. So that's been really great, you know, but it's confidence, it's comfort, it's keeping it cute and all those things, you know, but remembering the real purpose is to make a deposit of love everywhere I go, to plant seeds that I believe will grow once I'm gone. And I'm just grateful for that opportunity. Music goes much further than I ever will. So touring to me allows me to go to each city and make that deposit and give that thank you for having supported me all this time.
I love that. Well, I gotta also ask you this, right? So on the album, it's of course it's a gospel genre, but you have different variations. Like some is more traditional, some seems kind of like you were veering towards the hip hop kind of. So I guess how important is it for you to have a versatile album that touches all people, if that makes sense? You
know, it's funny, I never have that, I never tell myself be versatile. I'm just myself. You know what I mean? Like if you go to church and you live in the hood and you have certain experiences, it's all a part of you. You know what I mean? I went to school with Mac 10, you know what I'm saying? I lived in Linwood, which is next door to Compton. So that whole thing, you know what I mean? All the other girls from Inglewood, from Yo-Yo to, you know, Janae Aiko. We're all LA folk, you know, and it's all a part of who you are. And so that's why in a lot of hip hop artists in different genres, you'll hear them talk about their faith because it's all mixed in. We're all having a God experience, whether we are tapped in or not. You know what I'm saying? We choose to lean in or we choose to say, nah, I don't trust it. And so Yeah, it just makes its way. My music is diverse because I'm diverse. My father grew up. I grew up watching my father do ministry and minister to people on the street. So he went to prisons and he went to juvenile centers and the homeless and the drug addicts, and we would be out there singing and telling those people that Jesus loves you. I didn't have a very pristine Christian life where everybody was perfect and everybody. I don't know nothing about that at all. I know the gutter, and I know God brings you out of the gutter. You know what I mean? I know brokenness, and I know God heals. So when my music has that edge, it's because that's very much a part of who I am as well. And I really, really hope to dispel that thought process that because you are a person of faith, you don't understand problems. That ain't true. The only thing is I allow God to be my solution. Right? God didn't pick me because I was perfect. He picked me because I was broken, and he knew he could do something with my broken life that could show other people. So yeah, you always gonna get a little Inglewood, little Compton. It's all at Watts. My husband is from Watts. So it's all, mixed in there. And I think everybody that has that urban experience or, even beyond can relate,
What about gospel music now? How do you feel about it? Because it's changed from obviously the 90s, right, to now. So are you liking what you're hearing, or is there something missing?
It's always going to change. It's supposed to evolve. Time changes. If we stay in one zone, then we're going to be stuck and over. You know what I mean? God is God of today, but also tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow holds. So every day we live and thrive. Everything that God created creates. It breathes, it moves, it thrives, it grows. I don't want anything to just stay the same. So I'm happy when I see people doing different things. You know what I mean? If I was the same Erica from 21, you're going to be like, something wrong with her. You know what I mean? So music evolves, creativity evolves, business, technology, so many things evolve. And I think gospel music is evolving with it. Some people are rocking with it. Some not so much, but it ain't nothing you can do about it. It's going to grow and change because every generation has a different experience. You know what I mean? What gospel music was in the 50s is because of culturally what was going on. 70s, 80s, 90s as well. What it is now is because of this new generation. They are more online. They're not as... you know what I mean? They don't do this. You know what I mean? It's like, don't touch me, don't FaceTime, don't talk. It's very hands off, so it's very fragmented. So you feel that in the music. But if that's where they are, that's where they are. That's why you need an artist like me.
Yes.
I can understand where you are, but I can also offer something that is more tangible, more real. You know what I mean? That brings healing and wholeness. That doesn't have so many question marks. Like, I feel like in this, I'm living in my era of exclamation points and periods. You know what I mean? Like I know the lyrics. I know who I am and I know who I'm not. I know the difference between the two, and it tells me a lot.
We got to talk about evolving,
Yes.
Married to now, you're an author, first lady, so many different things. I guess, how have you grown as a woman and just a singer overall?
I guess it's kind of embracing who I am and feeling comfortable in my own skin and not going in a room, wondering if I'm enough. They called me because I'm enough. I walked in the room enough. And those are things that only come with age. I did not feel like that my whole career, my whole life. But the things that you think will break you, once you go through it and you go, that didn't break me. Stronger than I thought I was. And then you keep living, and every experience builds if you let it. Some people are still fighting for that control. Some things I just can't control at all. And I am okay with it. If God opens a door, I will walk through it. If he closes it, I ain't kicking. I'm going where they love me. I'm not kicking no door. If you don't like me, fine. Like who you like. I love who loves me.
I love that. Well, we also got to talk about Get Up, Erica.
Yes.
I love your show. Just tell us, I guess, how powerful that radio show has been for you.
Yeah.
And how do you feel like it's impacted others as well?
Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell is doing extremely well. I just saw a little deck on the show that we're doing for a presentation. So all the numbers and all the things are really, really great. But I think the most important things is, what I call the Get Up Church. And how they're impacted and how they listen and how long they listen and how committed they are. I do a lot of interaction. So we have birthday calls and get up calls and get up poll questions. So I get to hear from them. And so some of their voices and names I literally recognize. And so, you know, the different things that they've been through, I've been a part of. That is so, I love the humanity in that, you know, well, I can share God with you. We're kind of doing life together, you know, because they've heard me cry on the radio. They've seen me go through things, you know, the loss of my father and all these things, you know. But it's life. It happens to all of us. It's been a wonderful addition to my life. I don't enjoy waking up that early in the morning, but
that's real.
but it is what it is. Yeah, I enjoy doing the radio show.
What was like the most powerful moment you've had on there? Like, is there a specific story that someone kind of called in and told you, or is it certain?
It's been so many moments.
But...
Let's see. Probably the two biggest moments was talking to Barack Obama and then talking to Michelle Obama twice.
Okay.
I was like, oh, don't tell me nothing about get up mornings, baby, you know. But I've had, you know, some of the best in gospel and beyond, from talking to, you know, Mary J. and Kelly Rowland and all these people, Tyler Perry and all of that. They've all been moments where we just were having conversation, you know. And so it humanizes us in ways that allows us to connect with people, which is what life is about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even a forest, even a tree, it grows taller and stronger when it is around other trees. You know what I mean? When it is isolated, it doesn't grow as tall because there's no roots connected. You're not connected to anyone. Roots grow deep, but they grow wider than they do deeper, and they are connected to the other trees around it. They all feed off the same soil. When we look at life that way, it becomes this beautiful picture that allows us to see ourselves as trees that can endure the season. Think about a forest. Every season, there's rain, there's storm, there's summer, there's fall, and they just keep going. You know what I mean? They never goes, okay, this winter is going to take me out. And here's what I learned about dead trees. I just took this trip to the forest. I'm on my tree thing right now. Even a dead tree still feeds the forest. There's still nutrients in that tree. When it is once it's laying, it feeds the soil. So other trees are still living off of trees of the past. It's the way we talk about ancestors and the way we talk about our families. You know, if we learn and we talk and we appreciate each other, I can still be speaking to next generations. Shackles is here forever. God and me is here forever. Even when I'm not, those songs, those messages will be a part of me, and they'll be here forever. When we look at life that way, we connect with people. We don't live so isolated. What if they don't like me? What if I don't like them? What if they don't get me? What if they... Those are all unnecessary questions, because if they will, it's only two things. They will or they won't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do it or don't. My father used to say that. It's a yes or no answer, babe. You get asked 1,000 questions. You either gonna do it or you're not.
I got a couple more questions for you. You did speak on Barack and Michelle Obama.
Yes.
I know they have an anniversary coming up. So let's talk relationships really quick. Because obviously you're married and first lady.
22 years.
Yes, that's beautiful. But you know, the way that I guess the world is going right now, they're not valuing marriage as much.
Yeah.
What message do you have to the young people today, you know, who don't feel like marriage is important? Or they see it as something that's not a happy union. You know, how can we kind of show them that it can be happy, that it can be a good thing?
It's such a big conversation because our world loves a train wreck, right? And when something is good and beautiful, people are looking for the holes. But when something is bad, because you were already looking for bad, you go, see, I told you. If you're saying, see, I told you, then you already had negative in your mind. You weren't ever going to see the good in the first place. That's why I'm so passionate about this I Love You album, because it allows me to show 22 years of marriage. I love and like that man. He is my friend. We've built life together. We've done so much together. And even without that, we are so much to each other. I fuel him, he fuels me. We're on the same team. So even when we're in disagreement and things aren't right, I be like, I'm mad at you right now, give me a minute. Come back in about 15 minutes. He be like, okay. He'll go downstairs and watch something on TV and come back and knock, you okay? I'm like, that's all right. We're in this together. I teach my kids that. I saw that in my parents, even with all their stuff. The song, Do You Believe in Love? If you don't believe in it, there's a scripture that says, all things are possible to them that believe. Most people believe their pain more than they believe their promise, because the pain was so loud, the pain was so big. So you replay it. That's why I ask my kids, what are you saying to yourself about yourself? It's never going to happen for me. It's taking too long. What about? spend time getting ready for what's coming to you. Lord, prepare me for what is prepared for me. I believe God prepared all of this for me. And it was my job to get to it, right? It's like if it's something at a designated destination, that's all yours. It's a warehouse of blessings. You got to get to it to get your stuff. Like the song, Mary, Mary, go get your blessings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Love is the same way. You can't live in the pain of the past. I've had many heartbreaks. I've had many disappointments. You know what I mean? I was engaged twice before me and my husband were together. I was a chronic dater. Because the way my father actually made it okay. I remember being like 5 years old, coming home from elementary school saying, Daddy, I got a boyfriend. He said, you too? He said, what's his name? I said, Demetrius. He said, well, how you know he's your boyfriend? I was like, because he pushed me on the merry-go-round and the swing. He said, oh, okay. He never said, don't talk to boys. He never said boys are bad. He never said he trying to get something. My dad didn't do any of that. It was very normal and healthy. So I have a very different perspective of relationship. I wasn't warned of all the missteps and the wrongs. And I mean, they told me pay attention, recognize. But if I'm so busy looking at what's right, amazing, and beautiful, then I'm going to automatically, by default, recognize what's wrong because I've become so acquainted with love. Me and my husband are so acquainted with love and unity and togetherness. We feel when something's wrong in our house. Literally, we'll be driving and he'll go, what's wrong? I'll be like, I'm good. He'll go, no, you're not. And you ain't been good for about 2 days. And I was like, well, I was mad because you said this. And he was like, why wouldn't you just say something? He was like, you think I'm not going to feel you? 22 years married, 26 years together. You think I'm not going to feel it? But same for me, But for me, I will go to him and I'll just stop and pray for him. Lord, whatever he's concerned with, give him the answers. But whatever he's trying to figure out, because he the head of the house, so this all is you. You got to take care of me, this house, these kids. Now you're a pastor. So Lord, give him the strength is what I pray for him. But I recognize his moments. He recognizes my moments. He gives me space to be. If I'm out with my friends, he'll just call. I'll say, I'm going to be home at 12. And at about 2:45, he'll be like, you still with your girls? I'll be like, I'll be home shortly, babe. But I do the same thing for him. So love is amazing in so many ways and just has evolved for us. And I love sharing that with people because they get the bad news all the time. That's always in the news. These kind of stories don't make it to the news.
It will today.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, let's talk about purpose too.
Yes.
You've been talking about evolving and also just kind of like community, things of that nature. How can we find our purpose? What is, with God, like how can we find those answers to know what we're supposed to do in life, if that makes sense?
Start with knowing him first, right? For God so loved the world that he gave. What are you giving? What are you giving of yourself? And is it coming from an honest place? We give or aim to receive for a lot of reasons. I want to feel validated. I want to be seen. I've been insecure. I don't feel like I'm this. So I want to be seen to fill a space or place in my life. And I've done that. I've been on stage wanting the audience to feel something for me that I didn't have within myself. Sometimes they do. But then after they stop screaming and clapping, now I'm empty. You know what I'm saying? Finding purpose starts with finding you. Now, the beauty of life is sometimes you can find yourself on the way. Everybody's path, it's not cookie cutter for any of us, but it starts with you and God. It starts with you and the Creator. It starts with you and every day that the sun comes up. I literally woke up this morning and I opened the blinds in my room and I was like, the sun is coming up. It's up. It's not fully up, but it's up. It's shining. We can't see the fullness of its brightness and all that it's going to be, but it's up. And a lot of times with purpose, you have to start with, I'm alive, I'm breathing. What am I good at? Where am I starting? I don't care if you poor, don't have what you need. Even as a little girl, I always felt like I was something. We was on welfare, 2-bedroom apartments, moved about 15 times, going to church, car break down in the lot, and we trying to figure out who's going to. I still feel like I'm still something though. I'm something. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm something. Just start there. I'm something. You are something. There is something to you, something in you. That first is for you. right? You get it first. Don't pour from an empty well. Be filled with the love of God and purpose and who you are. Not who you want to be, not who you think they will like, who you are. Talk to God about it first. And then purpose comes. You find it. Being comfortable with you. Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. I'm so glad you were able to stop by Rolling Out Studios. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see you on tour.
Absolutely awesome.
All right, guys. So you heard it from the best. This is Erica Campbell. I'm Chelsea Alexander, and we are rolling out.